Hey, you guys. So, today I wanted to talk about the documentary Will and Harper. This documentary came out at the end of September, beginning of October on Netflix. And this is one that I was very highly anticipating. Not only because it has Will Ferrell in it, but I do think, from the trailers when I watched it, I thought it was honestly a beautiful way to kind of document this experience, this sort of topic, these different things that they kind of cover within it. And so, essentially, first and foremost, with this documentary, it is mostly centered on transitioning. It is essentially, with those who transition maybe, from one gender to another. They do kind of cover other topics in regards to the LGBTQ plus community. So if that is something that maybe you don't want to watch, this may not be a documentary for you. But essentially, it goes into the story of how Will originally met Harper, their careers, how they became friends, this, that, and the other thing. But then it goes into how Will got a letter from Harper, essentially explaining, like, hey, I am now Harper. I have, I'm transitioning, etc., etc. And so, one of the things Harper enjoyed doing before they had transitioned was they would go, you know, cross country, essentially drive one side of the country to the other, different state to different state, just long treks driving around because, they enjoyed just seeing these different places, whether it's going to the national parks, eating at the restaurants, just meeting people, that sort of thing. And with transitioning, Harper was very concerned with going, I think, one, by themselves, and two, going to some of these places because, this is a very sensitive topic. It's a topic that, some are okay with, others not so much. And Will was like, I want, like, let's do this together. And with it, we can essentially converse. Like, we can have a conversation in regards to some of, these things. And that's what I thought was the most beautiful part of this is you have an individual where, yes, I have transitioned, but they're essentially the same. And their friend, knows, like, hey, you're the same person, just something has changed. But they want to understand more on that. Because, yeah, a lot of us can't identify how that might feel. And so I think with a lot of the questions that they like that Will ask, how the conversation goes, like, they know each other well, and Will is even like, is it okay, like, how should I phrase this? But it's like they're comfortable with each other enough to know, like, hey, I'm not trying to offend or, say anything that might be out of turn. I just want to know, I want to understand. And, that's what I think is the, beautiful thing about it is you're trying to build this friendship still and, like, still understand, even though things might be a little bit different, but that's why you have that conversation. And when they go to some of these different places, you see they'll meet different individuals who have, who are experiencing the same things, with transitioning or, just going to these areas and having conversations with people, you know, in regards to Harper, and they'll address, hey, like, I'm transitioning, or these are my pronouns, etc., etc. And you see the positives of it, and you also see some of the negatives. That's why I think it's very raw, and you see, Will trying to grapple with, hey, this is what my friend is going through. This is how my friend feels. And so ultimately, I think it is just a documentary about a friendship, but then you just have that layer of, hey, something has changed. Let's try and have that conversation and understand, I want to understand you. I want to learn. So I very much recommend it. If it's something that I think you're interested in, like seeing, if it's something that you're curious in regards to, how what places do they go to, what conversations do they have. I do think it's very eye-opening, and I think for a lot of people who even have seen it, they were just like, this is a beautiful friendship. So I very much recommend it for that reason in and of itself. Um, but I also think too it even answers questions that we may have, anyone might have. So that's why I recommend it. If you've watched it, feel free to leave your thoughts down below, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.